The 1983 season for the New York Yankees was a tale of many, many chapters. Billy Martin's comeback almost led them to a playoff series. They only fell 7 games behind the Orioles. Dave Winfield killed a seagull in Toronto, which was international crisis and tragedy. The Pine Tar game basically was one of the strangest contests ever, and a longtime Yankee retired. So today, if you give us a little bit of a leeway, we're going to be talking about the 83 season, but the 4 big aspects of that campaign. Now, the 83 season was the 81st ever for the Yankees. The squad finished in third in the AL East with a record of 91-71, finishing 7 games behind the Orioles. New York was managed by Billy Martin, and the Yankees again played their home games at Yankee Stadium. Now, Bill Burgesh was still the GM of the squad, with Billy Martin as manager, and the acerbic George Steinbrenner as owner. Now, the TV and radio announcing for the team had big changes during the year, and this is what happened. We're going to talk about the preseason mostly. On November 3rd, 82, Bobby Ramos was purchased from the Expos. On December 1st, Baylor was signed as a free agent, Don Baylor. On December 9th, 82, Dave Collins, Mike Morgan, Fred McGriff, and Cash were traded by the Yankees and the Blue Jays for Dale Murray and Tom Dodd. Guess who got the best of that trade? On December 14, 82, Bobby Meacham was traded by the Cardinals with Stan Javier to the Yankees for Steve Fincher, Ball Helsom, and Marty Mason. On December 22nd, 82, Lee Mazzilli was traded by the Yankees to the Pirates for Tim Burke, Don Aubin, John Holland, and Joe Jose Rivera. On January 11, 83, Ozzie Canseco, Jose's brother, was drafted by the Yankees in the second round of the 83 MLB amateur draft. On February 24, 83, Bert Campaneris, in his last season, was signed as a free agent by the Yankees. September 28, 83, Roland Office was signed as a free agent by the Yankees. And on March 24, John Mayberry, the former Blue Jay and Royal, was released by the Yankees. Now, for the 4th straight spring training, the Yankees played an exhibition game at Louisiana Superdome. On March 27, 83, the Yankees bet the Blue Jays 2-1 behind 6 shutout innings from Doyle Alexander, the future Blue Jay. Attendance was only 15,129 for the game. Now, on June 11, 83, in a decision that a lot of people saw coming, Bobby Murcer, a longtime Yankee, played his last game of his career. On June 20, 83, he announced his retirement from the Yankees. On the same day, became the Yankees broadcast team for WPIX, which included Phil Rizzuto, Frank Messer, Bill White, and Bobby Murcer. The Sports Channel New York group included Mel Allen, Fran Neely, and others from WPIX. In the WABC radio version, Frank Messer, Phil Rizzuto, Bill White, and John Gordon. Now, July 4th, 83, in one of the biggest games in Yankees history, Dave Righetti threw a no-hitter against the Red Sox. But on August 4th, 83, Dave Winfield, while warming up before the 5th inning of a game at Toronto's Exhibition Stadium, accidentally killed a seagull with a thrown ball. He doffed his cap in mock sorrow. Fans responded by hurling obscenities and improvised missiles. Winfield was throwing the ball back in the infield, and this was the same year I went to a game that was Monday Night Baseball against the Royals. After the game, he was brought to the Ontario Provincial Police Station of charges of cruelty to animals and was forced to post a $500 bond before being released. Quip Yankees manager Billy Martin, it's the first time he's hit the cutoff man. The charges were eventually dropped the following day for lack of evidence. For years after, Winfield's appearance in Toronto were greeted with a loud chorus of boos, but he later became a fan favorite when he helped the Blue Jays win their first World Series in '92. Now, the Pine Tar game refers to the controversial incident that took place in a July 24th game between the Royals and New York. Now, playing at New York's Yankee Stadium, the Royals were trailing 4-3 with 2 outs at the top of the ninth, with U.L. Washington on first base. In the on-deck circle, George Brett was heard remarking to a teammate, "Watch this baby fly," as he shook his bat. He then came to the plate and connected off Yankee reliever Rich Goose Gossage for a 2-run home run and a 5-4 lead. But as Brett crossed the plate, New York manager Billy Martin approached home plate umpire Tim McClellan and requested that Brett's bat be examined. Early in the season, Martin and other members, most notably third baseman Craig Nettles, who was a member of the Minnesota Twins, recalled a similar incident involving Thurman Munson. Of the Yankees had noticed the amount of pine tar used by Brett, but Martin had chosen not to say anything until the home run. Now, with Brett watching from the dugout, McClellan and the rest of the umpiring crew inspected the bat. Measuring the bat against the width of home plate, which is 17 inches, they determined the amount of pine tar in the bat's handle exceeded that allowed by Rule 110B of the Major League Baseball rule book, which read that a bat may not be covered by such a substance more than 18 inches from the tip of the handle. When he was called out, Brett raced from the Royals dugout and had a free will mental breakdown. Now the game was, the decision was reversed. They played a shortened game, or shortened part of the final game, with Ron Guidry in the outfield, and of course the Royals prevailed. Now this season was quite interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and a massive improvement. The Blue Jays almost caught the Yankees in the standings. They ended up fourth place with a record of 89-73. Now the Tigers 92-70, and the Orioles 98-64, with the Brewers at 87-75. So it was a really good season. The Yankees were very consistent, with at least 6 or 7 or 8 wins against the majority of teams in Major League Baseball. Now, other movements that year, Dole Alexander was released by the Yankees on May 31st. Now, on June 6, 1983, University of Nebraska quarterback Turner Gill was selected by the Yankees in the 18th round of the 83 Major League Baseball draft. On June 9th, Rick Russell was released by the Yankees. On June 15th, Bell Callahan, Marshall Brandt, and Cash were traded by the Yankees to the Athletics for Matt Keogh. Now, on June 17, 1983, Dave Wermeister was traded by the Yankees and the Phillies for Jim Rasmussen and Kelly Falk. Now, Mike York was also released by the Yankees on July 22nd. Now, pitchers on the team that year, the key ones, of course, Dole Alexander, Goose Gossage, Ron Guidry, Jay Howell, Matt Keogh, Dave LaRoche, Rudy May, John DeCount Montefusco, Dale Murray, Dave Righetti, Bob Shirley. Catchers were Cerrone, Espino, and Weidiger. Infielders included Balboni, Campaneris, Griffey, Meacham, Milbourne, Nettles, Randolph, Robertson, and Smalley. Outfielders included Oscar Gamble, Steve Kemp, Don Mangley, Omar Moreno, Jerry Mumphrey, Otis Nixon, Roland Office, Lou Piniella, and Dave Winfield, and of course Don Baylor and Bobby Murcer. Now, Yogi Berra was an assistant coach on the squad. Now, the big year, of course, was the former Twin catcher Butch Weininger, 6 homers and 42 RBIs. Winfield led the team with 32 homers and 116 RBIs, with Craig Nettles getting 20 homers and Don Baylor 21. Now, from the bench, a whole bunch of people, but it should be noted that Bert Campaneris in 60 games hit .322 in his last campaign. Now, the starting pitchers, Ron Guidry won as a 20-game winner, 21-9. Shane Raleigh, 14-14. Dave Righetti, 14-8. Ray Fontenot went 8-2. And Goose Gossage from the bullpen, 13-5, 22 saves, with George Frazier, the GOAT of the 81 World Series, 4-4 with 8 saves. Now, both Guidry and Winfield represented the Yankees at the 83 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, won by the American League. Gold Gloves again were awarded to Guidry and Winfield also won a Silver Slugger. So, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very interesting season, and we forget how good the Yankees were that year. They had enough veterans and pitching to do it, but it was a very strong year. You had 4 or 5 teams going for the banner. Just happened the Orioles, with their strong pitching staff, got it all together. So that's the story of 1983 New York Yankees. If you like what they're doing here with our Major League Baseball vintage podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.